What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about two draft prospects, Gregory Rousseau out of the University of Miami and Jaylen Phillips out of the University of Miami. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or Cleveland Cavalier content. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys continuing to tune into the channel, continuing to share out my content. We all on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So definitely continue to hit that subscribe button. Let your friends and family know about the channel. Continue to share out my content. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. Also, I would like you guys to head over to my affiliates, Atlanta Falcons Nation. Definitely go over there and hit that subscribe button as well. They're on the road to 1,000 subscribers as well. So we'll appreciate it if you will go over there and show them some love as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So in today's video, as I mentioned, I want to talk about two draft prospects. Both of these guys are defensive linemen out of the University of Miami, played with the Miami Hurricanes. The first one is Gregory Rousseau. This guy is 6'7", 270 pounds, very long, athletic. He puts me in the mind of Aldon Smith that plays with the Dallas Cowboys, longtime San Francisco 49ers prior to joining the Dallas Cowboys. But that's who he reminds me of, Greg Rousseau. This guy is really raw. He will need some help developing, but he is one of those guys that's raw, but has a lot of talent. At the University of Miami, they use this guy not only as a defensive end, but they also used him at the 3 technique. When I was watching his tape, it looks like majority of his sacks came on him rushing from the inside because he was able to use his great length to get after quarterbacks. He has great straight line speed, and I definitely think that he's one of those guys if the Falcons decide to trade back, they should definitely consider. Another thing great about Greg Rousseau is he's one of those guys that's good in the run game because he's strong. He's good at setting the edge and things of that nature because of his long arms and his size. So I definitely think that he's a player that the Falcons should consider if we decide to trade down in the first round. The next guy, the next draft prospect is Jaylen Phillips, and he also played at the University of Miami. He's a defensive end as well. And this guy is probably the best, arguably the best tape that I've seen so far at that defensive end position in this draft. This guy is very polished. He actually started his his collegiate career at UCLA, and he transferred to the University of Miami. But last year he led their team in sacks with 15 and a half sacks. And Jalen Phillips is one of those guys where I would definitely consider taking him in the first round of this NFL draft. This guy has a ton of pass rush moves, and he looks a lot more polished than a player like Greg Rousseau. Jaylen Phillips, if you want to know who he reminds me of that plays in the league right now, he reminds me of Anthony Barr, who also played at UCLA, and who I wanted the Falcons to draft years ago. But Anthony Barr is the outside linebacker / defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. He's a guy with long arms as well, very rangy. This kid, Jalen Phillips, is actually 6'5", 265 pounds. So he's another guy that has great size, great length, great arm length. And he's one of those guys that I think that if he's on the draft board, the Falcons should definitely look at bringing him in. Like I said, he's the most polished as far as pass rush moves. He's the most polished guy that I've seen so far since I've been doing my scouting for this upcoming NFL draft. So if it was out of taking Greg Rousseau or taking Jaylen Phillips, if you want, closer to a finished product, I would definitely go with Jaylen Phillips. He's the guy that pretty much has all of the pass rush moves. He can bull rush, he can speed rush, and he proved it last year in college that he was one of the best defensive ends in the game. Now, I don't think that Jaylen Phillips has the versatility that a player like Greg Rousseau has, being able to play the 3 technique and being solid in the run game. I think Jaylen Phillips is solid at setting the edge as well, and he's solid in the run game, but you're not going to play Jaylen Phillips on the inside. He's a guy that mainly plays the defensive end position. You can't move him up and down the line like you can do with a player like Gregory Rousseau, because Gregory Rousseau is a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger, it seems like, than a player like Jaylen Phillips. But I think both of these guys, the Falcons should think about selecting. I prefer to move down in this draft and not take neither one of these guys with that fourth pick, because that's kind of high to take a defensive end in this upcoming draft. But if no team is willing to trade down to give us the capital that we want, I wouldn't be upset with taking either of these guys with that number 4 pick. But I just prefer moving back to take one of these guys maybe in the teens or the early 20s if we can accumulate the capital to get more picks down the line. But I definitely think the Falcons should strongly consider taking Greg Rousseau or Jalen Phillips. Like I said, if I had to choose between the two, I'm taking Jalen Phillips just because of his pass rush moves and the way that he looks like his game is polished. But if you want to bring in a project or a player, that you think Dean Pease and these guys can cultivate, I think that Greg Rousseau might be that guy. He's a guy that's, like I said, extremely athletic, has the all the tools to be a great pass rusher in the league. And I really think Greg Rousseau, Dean Pease will be able to get the best out of either one of these guys. But I definitely think that if he was able to get a Jaylen Phillips or a Greg Rousseau, Dean Pease and that defensive coaching staff will be licking their chops. But with that being said, you guys let me know what you think of these draft prospects, what you think about Greg Rousseau, what you think about Jaylen Phillips. I also suggest you go watch their highlight tapes on YouTube. Both of these guys, like I said, are freaks of nature. But Jaylen Phillips definitely, I think, is that guy. If we want somebody that's going to come in and have, a huge impact right out the gate. If you want a player that's right out the gate that can get you 5 to 10 sacks in a season, I think you should go with Jaylen Phillips. But if you want a guy, a guy that can be multifaceted and be more of that Swiss Army knife type player on the defensive line who can play multiple positions, then we possibly should go with a guy like Greg Rousseau. But both of these guys are great draft prospects. Like I said, you guys go check these guys out. But with that being said, this been your boy Jew. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.